Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من همزه ونفخه ونفثه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى لا سيما المصطفى صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. وبعد. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to a new edition of your program Ask Huda. With Ramadan is fixing to leave and the last few days are wrapping up, we should address some very important issues, because at least for me, I have 2 more episodes with you. Today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow, before the end of Ramadan. So I believe now it is due to address Zakat al-Fitr and to address the Eid prayer and the etiquette of the Eid and how to celebrate Eid in the light of the guidance of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before I do that, I promised Sister Musa yesterday to answer the question about a hadith. She said whether it's a hadith or not. Yes, I quoted the hadith in Arabic in the last episode, but we didn't have time to shed some light on it. The hadith, I said it's a sound hadith, and it's narrated by Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas radiyallahu an. He said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Min sa'adat ibn Adam thalath, and wa min shiqwat ibn Adam thalath." There are 3 means which bring happiness to the son of Adam, and there are 3 prominent means which would also bring richness and would bring sadness and sorrow and grief to the life of son of Adam. The 3 means which may bring ultimate happiness in this life, of course, he said, al-mar'atu as-salihah, wal-maskanu as-salih, wal-markabu al-hani. Al-mar'atu as-salihah, the good wife. And vice versa, that can be applied if a woman is married to a good man. That brings happiness to her in this life and also in the hereafter. When Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib's daughter finished the entire Quran memorization and understanding its tafsir, she had one question pertaining a part of an ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, which we all know. The ayah is an invocation, which says, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Our Lord, grant us a goodly reward in this life and a goodly reward in the hereafter, and protect us against the fire of hell. So she said, my father, what is hasanat ad-dunya? What is the goodly reward of this life? So he said, hasanat ad-dunya is al-mar'atu as-salihah, az-zawjatu as-salihah. The best thing that a person will be blessed with after iman and after faith is to have a good wife, a good spouse. وَالْمَسْكَنُ الصَّالِحِ, and to live in a good neighborhood. It doesn't have to be Beverly Hills, it doesn't have to be very luxurious, but we mean a nice, reasonable place. Roomy, spacious, have room for your children, for your family members, a place to host your guests. Some people think that this is against the Islamic teachings. You have to live a miserable life, you have to live a very poor life, and you have to suffer. No. I know multi-millionaires who walk on foot to the masjid, and perhaps they own their own private jets, private planes. They own Rolls Royce, but they walk to the masjid. They live in a nice place, but they are very humble. Humility and humbleness is not by wearing torn clothes and smelling awful. No. You may possess whatever as long as you possess it in your hand and it is not possessed in your heart. As long as you do not look at people down and you do not feel pride in your heart that you are richer than others. But living in a nice neighborhood is actually a blessing. Having good neighbors is a blessing. And there are many ahadith in this regard, particularly the neighborhood. As a matter of fact, amongst our dua in Taraweeh is to ask Allah to give us a place to live in, in a nice neighborhood. Neighbors can make your life happy or definitely miserable. That's why, on the contrary, the Prophet ﷺ said, وَمِن شِقْوَةِ ابْنِ آدَمَ. الشَّقَاوَة is the opposite of sa'ada, is the opposite of happiness. What will make a person extremely unhappy, always upset, worried, and overwhelmed with worries is three things. To have a bad wife, to have a bad place to live in, congested, very poor vent, or surrounded with bad neighbors. Everybody is screaming all day long, all night. He cannot even get a few hours of sleep. He cannot raise his kids properly. He cannot let them go out because it is not safe, and so on. وَالْمَرْكَبُ الْهَنِيُّ. Likewise, al-markab is a ride. In the past, they used to ride camels, horses, donkeys. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَالْخَيْلَ وَالْبِغَالَ وَالْحَمِيرَ لِتَرْكَبُوهَا وَزِينَةً. Look at that. وَزِينَةً. It's also an ornament, an adornment. The beauty of having an Arabic horse or a nice fast camel, things of this nature, is zina, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. It's not only for riding, but it's also zina. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a she-camel, which no camel could beat, al-qaswa, and everybody knows about al-qaswa of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My point is, it is okay to possess that and to work to get something like that lawfully, as long as it does not possess your heart, as long as you do not live your entire life revolving around moving from one place to another because the sheikh said that you have to live in a nice area. You can never catch up. You will always be looking forward. But if you have a nice place that you live in, and now you spare the rest of your time for ibadah, for tafakkur, for looking after your duties towards Allah, towards the poor Muslims and so on, this is how we keep balance. If you have a chance to buy a car where it will not break down every once in a while because you're moving from one point to another, you're working hard, you're making money, and you are giving in a charity, not just the zakah, others, helping many, many families, may Allah bless you. A sheikh or a da'iyah, some people assume that the sheikh has to be the poorest person. In some communities, as you guys know, that they assume that he should live on halwa, sweet, and the leftover people. And if he travels from one place to another, he has to catch the bus and really suffer in different means of transportation. Why? If the person enjoys a nice ride and reaches his destination with comfort, then he feels peace and he's able to deliver his message peacefully, if it is available. I'm not saying that everything will be put on hold until we achieve this. No. We travel on foot. We go to the jungles in Africa, we sleep on the dirt, we eat the least kind of food, we just eat bread sometimes. But if it is available sometimes to stay in nice places without wasting money, to eat nice food, to ride a nice ride, why not? Okay, barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our first caller, Abu Safwan from Kuwait.
Hello, Salah and Sh. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have a compliment and I have a complaint. So
I'll begin with the complaint.
No, first go with the compliment. Yes, Alhamdulillah, the programs of Huda TV are so nicely crafted, designed, that they are very informative. And Jazakallah, Allah may give you and the other sheikhs and other scholars the reward, and those who are working behind the cam. Alhamdulillah, it is very, very, when me and my wife, all the time we are just spending, sitting in front of Huda TV.
Alhamdulillah. Barakallah fi. Thank you.
Allah may give you the ajr. And the complaint is we don't have much time to watch any other thing other than Huda TV. So this is my complaint.
Well, this is not a complaint. This is actually another compliment, which is good. You don't have to watch anything else.
Okay.
I mean, alhamdulillah, if you believe that you're benefiting out of these programs, that is fine. Okay?
Inshallah, alhamdulillah. No, this is very beneficial, alhamdulillah. Very informative.
Barakallah. Jazakallah khair. Do you have any questions, Abu Safwan?
This question has come to me from the other side of the world. Actually, this is about a marriage proposal.
No.
The girl is a practicing Muslim.
No.
And the boy is a revert 4 years back. or 3 years back. He is also very practicing Muslim.
No.
However, he is the only Muslim in his family. He has mother and his younger sister. And he cares for his non-Muslim mother a great deal, being a Muslim, and has only son. As being an only son, he wishes to provide for her and have her stay with him after marriage.
Okay.
What the concern is that as a Christian, she wants to practice her own religion within the same house and might keep the crosses or pictures of Jesus and Mary and the Bible, etc. So the concern is it permissible that she can stay in the same and practice her own religion while the girl is staying in the same house and practicing her religion? If it is, how to deal with this situation?
Is the girl related to you, Brother Abu Safwan?
It's related to my friend. He's a best friend.
Okay, I got your question. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
The second question is, the second question related to this, if they have to live in the same house and she's practicing, the non-Muslim grandmother is living with them, and if they have children, then how can they prevent her religious practices, they prevent the religious character from influencing the children, and yet still maintaining a relationship with her? So these are the questions interrelated.
Barakallahu feek.
Jazakallah, thank you.
Wa jazakum. Thank you so much. Abu Mazin from Oman, Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم السلام شيخ محمد كيف الحال؟
الحمد لله بارك الله فيك.
الحمد لله. I have one question with regard to zakah.
نعم.
I have a business and I purchased some material from abroad. These materials have not come yet, have not arrived yet. Now, should I count this money which I purchased, I used to purchase the stove for my zakat, even though the products have not arrived yet?
Okay, you paid for it, right? You paid for it?
Sorry?
Abu Mazin, you paid for it already? You said you purchased, you paid for it.
Yes, I already paid for it, but the products have not come yet.
Okay, yes, it is zakatable. It's in your possession, and it is more worthy to protect your merchandise because you already paid Allah's right or the poor's right in it. Okay? So it is zakatable.
Okay.
Barakallahu fi.
Oh, sure. Thanks.
You're most welcome. Muhammad from Bahrain had a question pertaining how to make the niyyah for fasting. Do I have to say before Fajr, I intend to fast? No, you don't. النية محلها القلب. Simply by intending by your heart that you're fasting tomorrow or fasting throughout the month of Ramadan, it is sufficient to make one niyyah, and by the heart you don't utter the words of the intention. Also, your action, like when you get up for suhoor, or when you pray Taraweeh, what are you praying Taraweeh for? Because tomorrow is Ramadan. So this is a sufficient action to prove that you're intending to fast, inshallah. Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad from Ghana.
Salam. Yes. And Assalamu alaikum, Ustaz.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ustaz, which of the books can I get this hadith? What is an authentic hadith?
Muhammad, we unfortunately were experiencing a terrible communication. I cannot understand you. Please try again, Muhammad. Barakallah fiqh. It's best to call from a landline. Sister Kawthar from Emirates.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have sent an email to you yesterday regarding a jinn in the girl.
Okay. No, I didn't get it, or at least my secretary did not forward to me, so inshallah I'll look at it.
Yeah, I would request you to please see the email and answer me.
Okay, inshallah I will.
Okay, I would like to ask you regarding the people who cure jinn here in the UAE. If you can email me also, I'll be thankful.
Inshallah. Barakallahu fiki. Shukran.
Thank you.
You're most welcome, Sister Kawthar. Thank you. Bilal from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Sheikh, a few days back I heard you talking about the life insurance. So a question came into my mind. What about the medical insurance we get from the company?
Okay.
Is it okay to use it?
What makes insurance halal or haram is the provider. Whom are you subscribed with? If it is commercial insurance, then this is not my fatwa. Rather, it is the fiqh committees and the permanent lajna for fatwas. And most of the scholars are of the view that any commercial insurance, this is since the time of Abu Hanifa, because there used to be commercial insurance for sailors and on boats and so on. So this is not something new. It has become on a broader scale recently. But in fact, any commercial insurance is not permissible. But the insurance which is provided by the syndicates or by the government or cooperative insurance, it's called ta'minun ta'awuni, a group of people, whether doctors, engineers, teachers, soccer players, they participate together. They put monthly fund in a saving account or in an investment somehow in a halal way to provide whoever happens to have an accident or needs surgery or to be hospitalized. Everybody is beneficiary and benefits according to their need. Why commercial insurance is not permissible? For the following reasons. Exactly as I mentioned with regards to the life insurance, because it is commercial insurance. The commercial company which takes your money and installment and everybody's money, the money is deposited in the bank, in a commercial bank, of course, in order to be lent to others with riba. Even if this is not available or I cannot verify, this is not my problem, but who receives the benefit? Everybody who subscribes to this service, as long as he pays on time. If somebody suspended the payments or was not able to pay, yet he was paying for the past 10 years, what happened to the previous payments? They're gone. So he couldn't pay and now he's hospitalized or he's sick. Sorry, won't be able to provide you with any service because the insurance policy was suspended. Okay? Similarly, if he dies before that. And if somebody just paid one payment and he happened to need a surgery or a big operation or whatever, and he charged the company that much money, hundreds of thousands or whatever, it depends on his policy or the insurance policy or the agreement. The question is, what did he do in order to get this kind of money or this kind of help? So there are two violations. One which is gambling, similar to gambling, and the second is the shubha of the riba or interest, charging and paying. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Amin from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I would like to first thank you for offering these extra episodes of Ask Huda during Ramadan. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Wa jazakum. Barakallahu feekum.
And I have 3 questions. My first question is, the Imam of the mosque in the Haram in Mecca usually makes long sujood and rukus during the night prayers in the last 10 days. Is this something that is required or is it just recommended? And are there any special supplications that one must make during this time? And
are you calling currently from Mecca?
No, I'm in Riyadh.
Okay. At least you went for Umrah and you've seen the prayer, right?
Yes, I've seen the live transmission on television.
Okay.
And my second question is, I understand that if a person prays the witr after sunrise, the witr will no longer be odd. And could you please elaborate on just a little on how many rakahs one should pray and which chapters of the Quran one should recite? And my third question is, if I lend someone a certain amount of money and then realize later that this person is in some difficulty and cannot easily return the loan, can I waive the loan and consider what I have already given as my zakah?
Okay. I would like to hear your second question again. I got the first and the third.
Okay. My second question is about the witr. I heard on Ask sometime before that if a person is unable to pray the witr until after sunrise, then it will no longer be prayed with an odd number of rakahs.
Yeah.
So how many rakahs should one pray, and
Okay.
what chapters should one recite in those rakahs?
Okay, I got your questions.
Thank you. Jazakumullah khair.
Wajazakum. First of all, with regards to the long sujood and ruku', it is not actually long. It may appear long because you see it on the screen, because you're not involved in it. Alhamdulillah, Allah blessed me, and I just returned from the haram. And by the way, I had the opportunity to spend the remaining beautiful days and nights in Ramadan in the haram. And the room is still booked and everything. But I was debating myself. And I consulted my companions and my friends that there is a personal benefit, which is staying in the haram. Each salah is better than 100,000 namaz anywhere else. And you get to attend Laylatul Qadr there, and you get to attend the beautiful dua and the qunut and make iftar. And, I mean, like you're living in heaven, literally, despite the fact it was hot and humid. But wallahi, I swear, I mean, if heaven is like that, then heaven is so beautiful. Really, it is like you are living in heaven. So I compare between the personal benefit and the maximum and general benefit of others, which others will share with me, such as attending the program and so on. So I said, Alhamdulillah, at least I performed my Umrah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept and consider the same reward, because I would like to attend with my beloved brothers and sisters. Maybe there is one piece of information can be useful for somebody here or there. For instance, like Sadaqatul Fitr, which we'll be talking about it, inshaAllah. So making long sujood is prescribed. The hadith of Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman radiyallahu anhu, and others who narrated how was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's prayer, long recitation, long ruku' and long sujood. The ruku' and the sujood will be equivalent to the length of the recitation. Of course, we don't even go close to that. But in sujood particularly, dua, make dua. I mean, if I spend half hour in sujood, I would not finish all the invocations or the prayers that I have in my mind. For myself, for my family members, for my wife, for my kids, for the whole ummah, for Burma, for Myanmar, Arkan, and for Syria, and for Pakistan. Have many ways of making dua and many means of asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for. As far as praying witr, as long as it is before Fajr, it's odd. But if you miss the witr, and you shouldn't miss it deliberately, then you pray it even. It would be at least 2 rakahs. You can pray more than that. You give somebody a loan and they were not able to pay. Can you deduct it from your zakah? No. Why not? Because before giving zakah, if it is an ordinary charity or voluntary charity, no problem, be my guest. But the obligatory zakah has to be preceded with an intention. Like fasting during Ramadan. You cannot begin half day and say, okay, I'm going to resume fasting. No, you have to intend fasting before Fajr. While during other days, voluntary fasting, you get up in the morning and it's already noon or before noon, and you're not hungry, or you're hungry but there is no food. So you say, okay, I'm going to fast today. You didn't eat anything? Fine, you can fast. But that is not the case with the fard or the mandatory ibadah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Muhammad from Ghana, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
May Allah bless you for whatever is going on, and may Allah bless and help our sponsors too. So, mashallah, may He give them more resources
Ameen.
to be able to continue sponsoring the program.
Ameen, Ya Rabbi.
I have 4 questions on Salat and the others on Zakat.
Nah.
First question on Salat is, if I come to the mosque, and then in the process, let's say Zuhur, I got in and then the Imam had already have missed 1 rakah. And then the process, by the end of the 4th rakah, the Imam has been involved in either Badi or Qabli. In this way, do I have to follow the Imam after his the Salama, or I should wait for him to pay back the Badi before I get up to pay back my 1 rakah that I've missed? And my second question on Salat is, if I'm a traveler and inshallah, one have the privilege of shortening my say Zuhur by 2 rakats, and then just about the getting to a place where I could worship, it has been raining, so I managed to get to the house. In this case, can I still perform the kasar, or by that time the kasar has ended, so I must say the 4 rakats? My third question on Salat is, can Qabli or Ba'adi affect Nawafil prayers, especially the Taraweeh? My next question on Zakat is, if I happen to earn more than the Nisab level on monthly basis, but then I don't save to the end of the year, am I supposed to pay Zakat on it because I earn more than the Nisab level? My next question is on marriage. Can marriage be conducted in Ramadan? And then the last one is on riba.
Now, what about marriage in Ramadan? What was the question?
Whether it can be contracted in Ramadan. I mean, it can be executed in Ramadan. Can I marry in Ramadan?
Okay.
The month of Ramadan.
Now, okay, thank you, Muhammad. Barakallah fiqh. You already got 4 questions. May Allah bless you and your family. Abu Safwan from Kuwait. There is a girl, she's related to him, and she wants to marry. She's a practicing Muslim woman, and she wants to marry to a revert who is also a religious practicing man. He's proposing to her. Is this marriage valid or recommended or accepted? Yes, it is, as long as he said he is a practicing Muslim. And being dutiful and kind to his non-Muslim mother is a good sign as well. Living under his roof is a good sign as well. But the girl has to make things clear from the beginning that, like in my house, I wouldn't accept to hang crosses or have dogs or hold prayers because I would like the angels to enter into my house. But helping him to look after his mother and take care of his mother may also give you a great reward of inviting her to the deen. Even if she does not accept Islam and she still maintains her faith and belief, he is required to look after her and to be dutiful to her. And helping him to do so, you will be rewarded for that as well. But not on account of your, that will end up compromising on your religion or religious practices. Especially as Abu Safwan said, what about in the near future if we were to have children? How are we going to tell them, and what are we going to tell them about their grandmother, especially if they see her? So things like that have to be sorted out from the beginning with the groom or the future husband and with his mother. If everybody is clear on that, and the person is religiously practicing and is also vouched for his credibility by other Muslim scholars or Muslims who deal with him, elder Muslims, then it is okay to do so. Barakallah fiqh, Abu Safwan. Let's take a short break, and inshallah soon after the break I'll begin talking about Sadaqatul Fitr. Stay tuned.
Can't do that because you do not know what to say to them sometimes. At least you raise up your hand and ask Allah, oh Allah, please give guidance to this brother of mine. The importance of following Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. To follow our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam means you must understand his sunnah. Adinu Yusrun, Islam is a very easy religion, simple religion. So don't make religion difficult to yourself. I believe this hadith is very common to all of us. But the beauty part of this hadith, number one, it started by Umar al-Khattab saying, Sami'tu. Now again, I'd like to share with the brother and sister to understand the beauty of this saying of the companion.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome, dear viewers from around the world, to our exciting program titled Good Answer. I'm your host Malik, and I'm joined by the Imam of America, the founder of Guide Us TV. He needs no further introduction. I think you know who I'm talking about, Sheikh Yusuf Estes. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Yusuf.
Assalamu alaikum, Malik. My name is Ayman, and I think a lot of people would like to know, a lot of non-Muslims would like to know who Prophet Muhammad was.
We worship the God that he worshipped. And we worship that God the way he worshipped. So we consider Islam to be a way or a deen. Right. Anywhere. But that had never been before. He said this is a gift, never came before, that me and my followers, we can make our salah, our connection, anywhere.
Hey, sure, you're on the hot seat. I like my seat over here. I'm feeling comfortable because he asked you a tough question. He asked you a good question. Can you give him a good answer?
Islam my deen, Allah my Lord, His word Quran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Talking about Sadaqatul Fitri or Zakatul Fitr, both names are okay. It's called Sadaqah from Sidq, where the person is true in his intention that he is giving this Sadaqah or obligatory Zakah in order to be purified, in order to receive the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Zakah from Tazkiyah, which is to purify one's wealth and body and soul. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah At-Tawbah, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ إِنَّ صَلَاتَكَ سَكَنٌ لَهُمْ. O Muhammad, take this mandatory sadaqah from their wealth in order to purify them with it and to sanctify them through it. Then pray for them, because your prayer for them will bring peace of mind and tranquility for them. Okay. Zakatul Fitri or Sadaqatul Fitri is an obligatory zakah. How do we know that? Was it mentioned in the Quran? Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, narrated a hadith. And the hadith is collected by both Al-Imam al-Bukhari or Muslim. May Allah have mercy on them. The Prophet ﷺ said a statement that Abdullah ibn Umar understood from it the following. He said, فرض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صدقة الفطر صاع من تمر أو صاع من شعير أو صاع من زبيب على الذكر والأنثى الحر والعبد والصغير والكبير من المسلمين أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. What does it mean? That the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم ordained the sadaqah for the fitr. So it has a certain time, which is upon finishing Ramadan and breaking our fast and before celebrating Eid. The Prophet ﷺ said it should be paid before the Eid prayer. If you wait until the Imam made the takbirat and the Eid prayer finished, the person is committing a big sin. You still have to give that charity, sadaqah, and it will be counted as a voluntary charity. So, it was ordained on the second year after the migration, same as fasting, because Ramadan was ordained on the second year after the migration of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The hadith of Abdullah ibn Umar explains who should pay Zakatul Fitr. And Zakatul Fitr is different than Zakatul Mal. Zakatul Mal is on one's wealth, possessions, whether gold, silver, cash, investment, trade, whatever. And it is once a year. When you possess a certain amount, at least equivalent to 85 grams of gold or 595 grams of silver, and you maintain this for one complete lunar year, 12 months. Okay, then you have to pay 2.5%. This is a zakah on the mal or wealth. Sadaqatul Fitri is zakah on al-abdan, on the body, because we will look at the body count. You're the family father, you're the guardian, yes. How many who are under your guardianship, your family members, those whom you support financially and you look after? I have my wife and my children and my parents, okay. So you pay zakah on each and every one of them, because you are the one who spends financially and supports them financially. Okay. But we're poor. Well, the minimum nisab is to have enough food for one day and night, and anything extra, if you have anything extra, more than that, then you should give sadaqatul fitr. So if you have 10 family members, and you have food enough for a day and night for 10, and you have some extra food, it can last for another day or two. But other than that, you don't have any. You don't have a car, you don't have a job, you don't have a steady income, but you have food, because it's zakah to be paid food. So you should give sadaqatul fitr for your fasting to be accepted as well. Every person, even the child who is just born, if he was born before sunset of the last day of Ramadan, then you should pay zakatul fitri on them as well. How much? Remember I said anything extra beyond your basic needs of food and provision for a day and night. The Prophet ﷺ said in this hadith, صاعا من تمر أو صاعا من شعير أو صاعا من زبيب. A sa' is a measure that measures 4 muds. The mud is both hands full of food, like wheat, barley, raisin, dates, rice, the average food which people need most. Okay. So 4 full muds will make up a sa'. In today's term, a sa' is equivalent to 2.6 kilogram of food per each head, per each person of those who are under your roof, they're living under your roof, or amongst your family members who you support them. If you would like to pay for your brothers and sisters who are abroad, and say, don't worry about it, Allah has blessed me and I'm going to pay sadaqatul fitr for all of them. You shouldn't pay it without notifying them, because you have to get their consent. You have to get their approval. They have to tell you, okay. But if you give and you don't tell them, then it's a voluntary charity once again. You have to communicate with them and say, I'm paying for you sadaqatul fitr, don't worry about it. Then it counts. It is valid in this case. Sadaqatul fitr, the reason behind its mandate was explained by another hadith narrated by Abdullah ibn Abbas. May Allah be pleased with him and his father. He said that the Prophet ﷺ farada sadaqat al-fitri. And look at the term farada in the hadith of Ibn Abbas and in the hadith of Abdullah ibn Umar. Farada, ordained. Somebody will say it's not in the Quran. So, the Prophet ﷺ was given the power of mandating and making things obligatory. Right? So whatever the Prophet ﷺ ordered is actually a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there are many examples to that with regards to order things to be done or prohibitions, things to be avoided and abstained from doing. So فرض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صدقة الفطر طهرة للصائم من اللغو والرفث وطعمة للمساكين. The reason behind this sadaqah is a purification for the fasting person. From what? From al-lagw, any vain talk or action that he may have got involved in while fasting. Maybe backbiting, maybe joking but he was making a lie, or. Okay? He looked at a woman who's not lawful for him. So things like that can ruin his fasting. So sadaqatul fitr will expiate that and will patch up any torn part in this beautiful outfit which he's wearing due to fasting during the month of Ramadan. من اللغو ورفث. And the second wisdom is وَطُعْمَةً لِلْمَسَاكِينَ, and to feed the poor and the needy. The Prophet ﷺ said, أَغْنُوهُمْ فِي هَذَا الْيَوْمِ عَنِ السُّؤَالِ. You should suffice their needs on that day, the poor of course, so that they don't have to stretch out their hands and beg. It is not fair after studying for 30 days in the school of Ramadan and learning the beauty of helping and sharing and caring, that we go to celebrate Eid, we bought new clothes and fun for our children, and the poor are still with broken hearts because they don't even have food for the day. So the Prophet ﷺ said, make sure that today, on the Eid day, they don't have to ask. Okay, somebody will ask and say, well, if we give the poor our zakah, and another person gives the same poor his zakah, zakatul fitr, so I give him 10 kilograms of rice or wheat or raisin or dates, and another person gives him 20, another person gives him 30. Hey, guess what? Now the poor person has an nisab himself. He possesses food sufficient for 10 days. Does the poor person have to pay zakatul fitr as well? Yes. And this is the uniquest system in the whole world in Islam, where you find the most complementary system. Everybody is sharing and caring, even the poor. Because yesterday I was poor, now and before Eid, mashallah, I have plenty of food. You have to give to another person who is poor. And another person is poor, gives another person who is poor. And so on. You don't find this in any system but in Islam. The remaining question for us is, Ya Shaykh, you mentioned barley, raisin, dates, etc. What about cash? Can I give it in cash? Imam Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on him, said you may give the value, like estimate 2.6 kilograms of dates. How much would it be? Okay, $3, $5, $6. And how many family members you have? 10. 10 times 5, that's $50. And you just give it away. Al-Jumhur, all the companions, and the vast majority of the scholars are of the view that you have to stick to the text. So if I'm in somewhere and I cannot give food, like in America, it was a bit difficult for us to go to somebody and say, hey, take a sack of flour or rice or macaroni or raisin. Basically, it was hard to find poor people in the community anyway. So we say there are Islamic non-profit organizations will be more than happy to collect your charity, whether the mandatory charity, zakah on wealth, or zakah on the body, zakatul fitr, or the voluntary charity. And accordingly, they were redistributed among those who are eligible for it, and they will go to the countries and neighborhoods which are devastated. Syria, they would love to have some rice, flour, wheat. So there are needy places and needy areas and Muslims that these organizations will collect your cash, and on your behalf they will buy the desired food and the needed food supply for these people and supply them with it before the Eid prayer. And this is a win-win game. Brothers and sisters, make sure that you pay zakatul fitr. You can start paying zakatul fitr right now. I said the ideal time is sunset of the last day of Ramadan, but you can pay it a few days before, insha'Allah Azza Jal. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salih from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, Sheikh?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah.
Ramadan Mubarak to you and advance Eid, happy Eid, inshallah, to all the entire staff of Huda, inshallah.
Same to you, sister. Barakallahu fiki and your family.
Thank you, Jazakallah khair. Sheikh, I have an important question because this one I have a dispute also with my husband.
No.
In going to Masjid al-Haram, if my intention is just to pray like Maghrib until the Tahajjud, inshallah, do I have to make tawaf or just I can pray with for these greetings of the mosque?
No, you don't have to do tawaf. And praying the 2 rak'ahs, the greeting of the masjid, only if there is no current prayer. Like you said, you're going for Maghrib prayer, right?
Inshallah, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. May Allah make it easy for you. But remember us in your dua, please. Okay? Pray for Huda TV and all its team and the whole ummah.
Of course, inshallah. Always, Sheikh.
So now you enter the haram. You enter the haram and the adhan has been called. You don't pray Tahiyatul Masjid. Why? Because there is 2 rak'ahs sunnah before Maghrib. I will pray them. Or they call the Iqamah directly. So I pray the Maghrib. Then Tahiyatul Masjid or the greeting of the Masjid is waived. When we say Tahiyatul Masjid al-Haram is a tawaf, the greeting of al-Haram is tawaf, It means that if you do tawaf, that waives the requirement of praying the 2 rak'ahs. You can just sit down afterward. You don't have to make tawaf every time you enter the haram. It's not possible, even if the haram is empty. Imagine every person who's going to pray.
Yeah, that's why my husband is saying like that.
Okay.
And the other one, Sheikh, because every time I go to haram, there is Salatul Janazah. I want to understand how to do it. I know I'm following the Imam, but I want to understand how to do it. And what is the reward of it?
You know, Salih, it's so beautiful that you ask this question, and it's so strange that many people after the prayer, when the Imam said, As-salatu ala al-mayyit, or the funeral prayer, they just leave. Do you know why do they leave? They leave because they don't know how to pray it. And they don't bother to ask. And they don't bother to ask, and they don't know what they're missing. Praying the funeral prayer for each janaza actually, okay? You receive a reward equivalent to the mountain of Uhud. A huge reward, like a mountain of reward.
Subhanallah.
So every prayer in the haram, there is a funeral. Don't you ever miss this. Some people rush and say, I'd like to go to the gate to beat the traffic. Don't miss the funeral prayer, even if you pray it on the stairs or by the door. Don't miss a single funeral prayer. The first takbir, Allahu Akbar, you place the right hand on the left, like exactly in the salah, and you recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Simple? Okay. Then the Imam will make another takbir, Allahu Akbar, you make the takbir silently. Then you recite the second half of Tashahhud, or the Durood Sharif, from Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad. كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد, all the way صلى الله عليه وسلم to the end. Okay? Simple. Third takbir, which has a longer period of time, because the Imam is giving us a chance to pray for the deceased. We don't know them, but we pray for اللهم اغفر لمن حضر من أموات المسلمين. Oh Allah, forgive those who are attending this funeral of the deceased Muslims, young, old, men, women. We pray for them. There are many beautiful supplications prescribed, but if you don't know any, if you're not memorized any, do not miss the prayer still. Just keep saying, Oh Allah, forgive them their sins. Oh Allah, forgive them their sins. Oh Allah, take them to paradise. Oh Allah, protect them from the torment of the grave. Oh Allah, oh Allah. Okay? The fourth takbir, Allahu Akbar, now you have a chance to pray for yourself and the whole ummah. And there is a prescribed dua, which is, Allahumma la tahrimna ajrahu wa la taftinna ba'da. If it is a male, the dead person, if the dead person is a male, Allahumma la tahrimna ajrahu wa la taftinna ba'da. Excuse me. A female, Allahumma la tahrimna ajraha wa la taftinna ba'daha. I don't know that. Oh Allah, forgive me my sins. Then make taslim. The taslim may be just once to the right, or also right and left. You follow the Imam. He's the driver. If he makes taslim only to the right, then you should follow the Imam and make taslim only to the right. Barakallah fikum Salih. Huraira from the KSA, and they told me that you've been waiting for 15 minutes. May Allah bless you, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Sheikh, how are you?
Alhamdulillah. Barakallah fiqh. Go ahead, brother.
May Allah accept your umrah. And really, the kufi you wear, it suits you a lot. I love to see you in the traditional way.
Barakallah fiqh. This is a Russian one. Somebody gave it to me as a gift in the haram. So may Allah accept from him and from all of us. Barakallah fiqh.
Okay, I have two questions for you. Sheikh, the first question is, are people who take zakatul mal, obliged to give zakatul fitr?
Yeah, if they have food enough for a day and night, and they have extra, then they should give zakatul fitr as well. Second question.
Can we give zakatul fitr to Syria and Burma?
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. If there are organizations such as Islamic Relief and so on, we all know what happened to most of the non-profit Islamic organizations after September the 11th and how they cracked them down, and they were helping millions and millions of Muslims. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala support His deen and make us victorious and put in our heart the sense of helping those who are in need.
Yes, Sheikh, but one more thing. The zakat al-fitr that we give to Syria and Burma might not reach them before Eid. So is it still permissible?
That's why I said it is permissible to pay it a few days before Ramadan. As a matter of fact, Imam Malik wa Shafi'i said you can pay zakat al-fitr since the beginning of Ramadan. And what I mean, if you're paying cash, like for instance, if we have this organization, I don't want to name any, let's say Islamic Relief, said that we're accepting your charity and we're going to deliver it to the devastees in Syria or in Myanmar. Okay, if you wire your money, if you charge your credit card or by any means, then definitely they have an access to deliver the food before that. Your issue is to make sure that you paid it in advance. Barakallahu feekum, Huraira, and everybody, thank you so much. By that we come to the end of today's edition of Ask Huda, and until tomorrow's edition, which hopefully inshallah we'll get to speak about Eid and its etiquette, I leave you in the care of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah accept your fasting, your obedience, and may Allah accept from all of us, pardon us and forgive us our sins. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest.